We dropped to $54,000 today, but I think we're back up to $57,000 or $55,000 now. Don't worry about me at all, guys. That's why you're worried you guessed wrong about how long it would take. You thought today would bring you $77,000. You only need to think about how to make more money if you're going to be in this for 4 years. Either get rid of things that won't go up in value like Bitcoin in the next 3 or 4 years. Take a look at what you're eating and throwing it away. Dude, when you're done with all that, just go back to work, make some cash, and buy some Bitcoin. It's fine if it's $42,000 when you buy it again. It's fine if it costs $82,000. I have a lot of Bitcoin. This morning I have more Bitcoin than I did last night. It looks like its value is going down today. Also, I want to tell everyone that it's July 5th. Nobody has to work today. There's no one in the market. Bitcoin's value recently dropped to $54,000, but quickly rose to around $55,000, even though some buyers were pessimistic about the market. Cardone, CEO of Cardone Ventures and a strong supporter of Bitcoin, recently talked about why he stays positive. Cardone says not to worry about short-term changes, saying that any stress from them comes from wrongly estimating how long a purchase will last. He basically says that people who want to invest for the long term should focus on making more money and selling assets that won't do as well as Bitcoin. In the first 100 days after halving, Bitcoin dropped by about 23 to 30%. After that, it bounced back up. It's funny that the miners are still charging away even though the price of Bitcoin is going down. In the same way that iron went up 28% last week, Bitcoin wasn't doing very well. What will the miners do if this thing flips over and does an 88 and an 85? There will be no stopping those workers. They will take off like pancakes. That was just before the AI, but that was before the AI part of this because, if iron can go up by 28% in a $50,000 to $60,000 market, what can they do if Bitcoin is at 78, 80, or 100? Sam, this is the last thing I want to say. I just want to ask people to be patient with me if it's annoying that I'm talking about politics more than Bitcoin right now. This is very, very important. Please give voting a lot of thought. Bring your friends to the polls in November. You should go talk to your friends, man. Hear me out, go do something nice for someone and don't tell anyone about it. That's the end of every show. This is a great way to save time. This has been something I do for a very long time, and the more I tell you guys about it, the more I do it without thinking about it. I forgot about this little life hack for a long time after someone showed it to me. Anyway, part of being nice for me means getting active in politics, even though I don't want to or like it. We can't just stand by and do nothing. This is something you'll have to deal with for the next 5 months, and I fear that we will have to fight again to keep what we've won. We're probably going to be on this trip for 4 to 8 years. If you want to fit in, I think you should shut up and hope that Bitcoin goes up. You refuse to be a part of the answer. I believe that Bitcoin can and will go up. Let's use Bitcoin as a way to connect all of these people and figure out how to make our voices heard more. Someone or some people have taken away our voice because they know that if they say crap enough times over and over and over again, people will listen, even if they only make up 0.4% of the world's population. The reason we were quiet was because of that. When we shut up, someone took advantage of the silence. So you're going to have to, because I think someone is going to pick on me, hate me, and probably bring charges against me. This won't work. Right now, talk to someone in Ukraine. For dinner, the woman I'm dating went to see her parents 4 weeks ago when they moved from Ukraine to Monaco. 4 weeks. Don't think you're free. Because you can be treated this way as long as other people are. Certainly, do not fuck with the right guy. I love Bitcoin, the country, and this country. I love this world, which has 8 billion people living in it. 10,000 officials are all there. The odds are 8 billion to 10. Everyone agrees that we need to stop fighting over small things and start talking to each other and being honest. Let's talk about what we agree on in general. What the most important beliefs are. Having respect, morals, ethics, telling the truth, making things, getting paid for them, and not having them stolen are all things that are good. These things are true to me. Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin Bubble News channel. And this is going to be a great time no matter what. Win or lose. Dude, we're living in the past. 20 years from now, you'll remember that you worked for that person. He said, dude, we're living in the middle of history, but he's dead now. Feel the sand moving? I'm really excited about this. In a symbolic way, I can feel the building moving under my feet. To me, it's honestly more exciting and more important than whether Bitcoin is at $78,000 or $7,000. Guys, I don't think that's going to happen, but we're going to get paid a lot for our work in Bitcoin. But you won't get paid a lot, and keep it if you don't do something about politics too. That's all I have to say, and I think it's really easy with Bitcoin because I know how much it costs. I understand that not many people have bought into this asset class and know what the supply and demand are. In terms of game theory, if I'm right, all the rich people have already eaten everything they can, which means they're at maximum consumption. Don't forget that oil reached its peak. I know a guy who wrote a lot of law books. It was Dan, I'll remember his name, who taught us about the idea of peak oil, which I don't think we've ever seen. Peak oil will never come. There will be a price. But at $1,000, all the oil in the world will show up. This is what peak oil means. No way I can do game theory. I can see how that would work in a union with OPEC based on game theory. I think, wow, there are 406,000 very wealthy families when I look at Bitcoin. I think I know what they'll do. Okay, someone who is willing to spend $125,000 on a Rolex watch or a private jet. There are an endless number of chartered flights that can be booked, right? A number could be used to make an endless number of Rolex watches. If I give them $1 million, how many planes are going to fly right at me? At $1 million, everyone and their brother shows up in Tampa with a jet. Hey, I need to pay you $1 million in 3 hours. There will be planes. Okay, so look at how they supply is hugely skewed. I think it's pretty easy. This one is pretty easy. All the other things we've done with game theory have been really hard. In business, there are oligopolies, duopolies, and monopolies. All of these need very different types of plans for getting to market. To be honest, that gives me an edge because I know how all of these banks are going to approach getting into Bitcoin. Their plan is to use deals and relationships which never work to try to do it. Why do they want to do it that way? To connect with you. This is known as limping in, hey, let's work together. Let's not make a promise. You see, Fidelity got into digital assets 7 years ago. They got involved. They put money to work. They hired people. They didn't work with other people. Also, I have some news to share with you. They were ready to pay for the room, come up with a thesis, and build a business around it. That's not the same as First Data or Bank of America saying, hey, we need to do this for defense. It's not clear what we should do. We do it because everyone else does it, but there isn't a clear goal behind it. This is why I talked about Twitter and Chatter. Elon is busy. Okay, so Spaces will need more than 7 workers if it's going to be a great place to work. If a Chatter with 1 million users shows up, and they only talk about the product that needs to be made for this market, people will quickly move from X. It's no longer sticky. These services are no longer going to hold you back. People can go where they want. You see, that's how games work. I like Talk coming up because it does 2 things. It gives us some extra information, and it makes us compete with each other. It leads to new ideas, just like it makes things. All the competition took place here, which is why America was so great until it got lazy. For this was what made America unique. Unfortunately, we no longer have any competitors because there are too many clubs that charge too much for too little. Thanks, Wade.